Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am very excited because we're doing a wrap up and I actually read this month. So we've got a lot of books to talk about. So this month was probably the best reading month I've had so far in the year. And I did DNF one book this month, but I still managed to read, I think 9, I want to say. There's 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9 books, 1 DNF out of that. I will say I was definitely on like a dark romance slash like morally gray character kick. And I still kind of am, even though I haven't read anything yet this month. We are only, I think, 1 day in, so... Oh, we're 2 days in. But let's get into this so I don't make this video a million years long for everybody. So I read the first book out of that series sometime last year. And I didn't realize I only read the first book and then I just didn't pick the rest up. Well, I picked them up this month. Not all of them, but I went through a majority. So we have book 2 of the Legacy of God series, which is God of Pain by Rena Kent. And I love all of these covers. They're so pretty to me. Maybe it's just because I like scally dark stuff, but definitely fits my vibe. And this is Creighton and Annika's book. And all of the characters in the series, they know each other. They go to the same school. I believe it's a college, and basically there's 2 campuses that like mingle, and it's the like British elite campus versus like the mafia American campus, I guess, of like rich and privileged, and they hate each other. So I think pretty much all the characters through every book is on opposite sides of each other. And this one, Annika is basically a mafia princess, and I don't remember what I'll read the backs on these really quick just because they're so small. So it says, "The princess is taken by the god of pain. I made a terrible mistake. Being a mafia princess, I knew my fate was already decided. But I went ahead and longed for the wrong one. Creighton King is bad news with a gorgeous exterior. He's silent, brooding, and obviously emotionally unavailable. So I thought it's over. Until he awakens a beast inside of me. My name is Annika Volkov, and I'm Creighton's worst enemy. He won't stop until he breaks me, or I break him." So this is college romance. Grumpy Sunshine. He's definitely grumpy, and she's definitely Sunshine. Anti-hero, there's like a praise kink in here. And all of the like men in the series are very, very possessive. So just go into it knowing that. I mean, dark romance obviously is not for everyone. I did enjoy the series because I feel like even though it's dark romance, it like treads a line. And it didn't go over that line for me personally. I'm trying to think of like the main points in this and what I loved from it. And I don't remember. Oh, I do remember the drama at the end. The third act breakup in this was... I think the third act breakup in this makes sense. Like, this is one of the third act breakups where I'm like, okay, that actually like makes sense. Them getting back together though, and it was a little crazy, but it was just so good and so addicting to read. I think I read this in 2 days. I highly, highly recommend if you love dark romance to get anything by Rena Kent, honestly. So then I read the third one of the series, which is God of Wrath by Rena Kent. And once again, I love this cover. A heart with chains on it. My vibe. And I will read the back once again. "I'm trapped by the devil." Oh, I didn't say my rating on the last one. I am so sorry. I rated this one 4 stars. Now this one I rated 5 stars. This is my favorite so far, I think. It says, "I'm trapped by the devil. What started as an innocent mistake turned into actual hell. In my defense, I didn't mean to get involved with a mafia prince. But he barged through my defenses anyway. He stalked me from the shadows and stole me from the life I know. Jeremy Volkov might appear charming, but a true predator lurks inside. He's out to possess, own, and keep me. But I have no plans to stick around in his blood-soaked world, or so I think." let me tell you, I remember so much from this one because it's my favorite, and this one stands out for me. So I feel like a lot of the girls in at least the girls in the first two books were very, like it took them a lot to, like, stand up for themselves. Versus in this, Cicely, like, is so badass and so, like, she stands up for everyone, especially her friends. Like, she puts her foot down. She's not afraid to stand up to some guy who thinks he's, like, all big and bad or whatever. But this is Jeremy and Cicely's book. Jeremy is, what is her name? Annika from God of Pain. This is her brother. So, and Cicely is friends with Annika in the series as well. I really, really, really loved Jeremy in this for the fact of, like, Cicely originally kind of liked somebody else, or, like, would put up with this other guy's shit. And Jeremy would be like, what are you doing? And he didn't even like her in the beginning. And he would still be like, come on. Like, you like this guy? For what? The guy is nothing. He literally is below the ground on, like, standards. And Jeremy just did everything right and was so nice and sweet to her, even though he is, like, a mafia prince. And I really like the back and forth banter that they had throughout the entire book. Like, they just meshed so well with each other and gave each other, like, such good back and forth going on. I loved every second of it. Oh, he does stalk her in this book a little bit. So take that with however you wanna, but it was just so, so good. I didn't expect this to be my favorite of the series so far, but it definitely is without a doubt. I loved them so much. I keep looking at art for this book. I can't. I'm obsessed. And just talking about it makes me want to reread it. 5 stars. Loved it. And then I went on to the 4th book in the series, which is God of Ruin. I also really like this cover. Surprise, surprise. This is Mia and Landon's book. Mia is mute. She went through some trauma, so she does not speak and is unable to find her voice. And then we have Landon, who, to be honest, I did not like Landon in the beginning, but then it's kind of told in a point of view of, like, as she gets to know him, you find out he learns in a different way, basically, and he doesn't handle emotions like normal people handle emotions. Like, he doesn't understand emotions like that. Like, if there's no logical point behind the feeling, he doesn't understand it. And so he kind of tries to learn feelings for her and figure out what feelings mean and how to show those. He is still a psychopath in this, and he is definitely very, he has an ego on him. He probably has the worst ego out of all of the, like, books so far, at least from my point of view. Which is originally why I didn't like him fully. I do love Mia. Mia was so badass, and another one that was, like, take no shit, like, not afraid to stick up for her friends, her family, and herself, and, like, wouldn't let, like, small comments that people would make get to her, or, like, when people would try to bring her down, she'd be like, okay, for what? And you said that for what? Like, it's embarrassing to hate on people. I just loved them so much. I especially loved Mia. Landon, I still, once you, like, learn about how he sees emotions and stuff like that, sympathize, but I still didn't, like, fully connect. 4 stars. So I didn't read the 5th book in the series yet. I own it. I haven't read it yet. So I was still on my dark romance kick. So I read The Sweetest Oblivion by Daniel Lowry. And I don't know what is on my book, but if we just ignore the light reflecting on it, it looks normal. There we go. And this was Nico and Elena's book. And Nico is basically a mafia boss. And Elena is the daughter of don't think it's just a rich family. I think they do something, but I don't remember. But basically, in it, Nico is originally engaged to marry Elena's sister. And when Nico first meets, like, that family, he's instantly drawn to Elena, and he wants Elena instead. But he can't have her because they have a deal on the table for basically peace between each other if he marries the sister. But he wants Elena, not the sister, but to keep the deal brokered. Like, I think it's a signed deal too. He has to marry her sister. So, like, there's a couple family events where there's, like, a tension build up. You can feel it. And even the talks between him and the sister has zero interest in him. You know, they both have their eyes on somebody else. I loved Nico because he had Elena's back and he stood up for her. I was not Elena's dad. I wish I could smack. Like, just the way he treated them was just crazy. But of course, Nico has like a soft spot for Elena, and they do have like a back and forth like banter for a while, which I really enjoyed that. I do like the tension build up, and banter are the number one things. So I did rate this 4 stars. I think I'll continue on with the series, just not sure when. It just depends. So then I think I shifted. I don't want to qualify this as morally or as dark romance. I would say this is more like morally gray characters. I don't think this follows under a dark romance, but it's not contemporary. So I read King of Wrath by Ana Huang, and this is book 1 of her Kings of Sen series. And there's going to be 7 books each for each sen that there is. I love this, and I've got the colored edge. So this is Dante and Vivian's book, and Dante, what does he do? Oh, Dante's like a billionaire CEO. I forget what type of company he has. But he is definitely morally gray, blackmails a lot of people. He will use brute force if needed. And then you have Vivian, who is the daughter of like a rich family. And this is marriage of convenience, so they do end up getting engaged and married because of a deal that is made. Once again, another one that has a ton of like banter and back and forth between the characters. Like, this is what I crave in books. This is what I want. If every book could be like this, I'm sure I would get sick of it at some point, but I would eat it up until I got sick of it. I loved how Dante handled Vivian, and same towards Vivian about Dante. I think they understood each other really well, and it was interesting to see how they like broke down their walls with each other. Once again, another family though that I could have slapped, or another dad I guess I should say that I could have slapped, was Vivian's dad. This man, no. And I think he got off lightly with what happened in this. I won't say what happened, but I will say I think he got off lightly. This is my favorite of the series so far. I did rate this 5 stars. Then we have book 2 of that series, which is King of Pride. And I wanted this to be my favorite because it's purple, and purple's my favorite color. But sadly, it is not my favorite. This is Isabel and Kai's book. Isabel was Vivian from this. It's her best friend, and then Kai is Dante's best friend. So, best friends. And this one is kind of forbidden romance. So, Isabel works at a bar, at the Valhalla bar, which Kai is a member of, and he's part of the board team for that. So, there is a no fraternizing rule between, workers and club members. So, a little bit of forbidden romance there. I did like how, so Kai is basically very controlled, he does everything legally, I will say. And he does not like to blackmail people, but he's very clean, controlled, reserved. Like, he has this, like, perfect front about him. And Isabel is literally the complete opposite. She is a mess. She is all over the place. And she's just so carefree. So I think they like match each other well in the sense that they could pull each other out if needed. But I think maybe they were a little too far on each side for it to fully like mix well, in my opinion. I did enjoy their story, but I found myself getting bored a little bit throughout the book. So I did end up rating this, I think 3.5 stars. It was good, and I really liked seeing their story roll out, and I loved getting details and little glimpses about Dante and Vivian. Also, you get glimpses into other characters that books are going to be about. So it is nice to get like background info on stories that are coming out. But overall, I would just say this was okay for me. 3.5 stars. Not bad. Not bad, but I don't know if I would read again. Then I read the third book, which is King of Greed. And I got, this one is like, I think it's supposed to be gold, but it's like brown. And this is Dominic and Alexandra, and this is second chance / failed marriage tropes. So they are already married, and basically their marriage is falling apart in this. And Dominic Davenport is very powerful and brilliant and ambitious, but he is very, very business driven. Therefore, he kind of forgets about his personal life. So you have Alexandra, who is left in the dark with a lot of things and forgotten about. And it's been this way for years. Of like this build up into them, basically their marriage failing. And when Alexandra finally has had enough and says, you know, I'm done. This isn't worth it. You couldn't make it to another thing. Like, I'm drawing the line here. It kind of flips his world upside down, and you see him try to get her back and what he'll do to get her back. There is groveling in this, and I am a fan of groveling. I love a good grovel. But I don't think he did enough of it for it being like 10 years of build-up. I think he needed to grovel a lot more and prove a lot more before like the whole story got unfolded and like they came back together. It was still really good, and I devoured this in a day. Like, it really had my interest. I just think a little more groveling or something should have been there. So 4 stars, but I am very excited for the next book in the series to come out, which it has been released, but I'm waiting for it to get delivered to my house. It's King of Sloth. So hopefully you will see that one in my next wrap up. And then we go to the book that I DNF'd, which I actually should have brought this up probably earlier because I did read it way earlier in the month than any of these. It's The Swans of Fifth Avenue by Melanie Benjamin. And this was a book club pick, and I had to DNF this. I made it like 50% of the way through, and getting to 50% was very, very painful. This book moved very slow, and there were just so many characters getting introduced and making commentary that it was hard to like focus on what was going on and like connect storylines that are being told, but also just trying to like figure out what the hell is going on. Like, it was just too much for my brain to understand fully, and I was kind of hyped about this book because I feel like the back kind of gave it like Gossip Girl-ish vibes, but like older. And I'm excited. Like, I like rich people drama stories, sure. If it's Gossip Girl style, like, heck yeah. And maybe that's another reason why I had to DNF, is I built up those expectations of what I thought it was going to be, and it just was not meeting it, but couldn't push through. DNF at 50%. I tried. And last, but definitely not least, we have Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. Another book club pick. This was my book club pick. And I love this book so much. So freaking much. 5 stars. I think Abby Jimenez does such a good job at like writing such fleshed out characters that have like these storylines that are so relatable. She does such like, she's very good with tying in like mental health oh my god, mental health representation throughout this. And like, it feels so realistic that like if you're anyone who has these, it's like, oh my gosh, that's me. Like, it's just it's just so written so well. So this is Justin and Emma's book, and they basically both have the same problem where every person that they date, once they break up, that person finds their soulmate, essentially. They're one, and they end up getting married. And Justin and Emma meet on basically a Reddit thread, and they come up with the plan of, hey, if we date each other, maybe we'll break each other's curse, and then we'll both go off to find our next person, which will be the one, if this plan, you know, works. Well, it does work, except for they fall for each other, and they don't live in the same state. So Emma is a travel nurse, and I forget what Justin's job actually was. I don't remember, but some bad luck does fall upon them. So some trouble happens with Justin's family, and he ends up having to basically take care of his siblings while also trying to, you know, date and figure out things with Emma. And then Emma has a bad relationship with her mother, and her mother kind of comes to crash the party. And they're both navigating so much in their lives, trying to figure it out while also trying to figure each other out. It was just so well written out, and I truly, truly love this. I did save a line from this book that I really, really enjoyed. Please pause as I pull it up. So it is a line that Justin said, and it says, "You're not asking too much," he said. "You are just asking the wrong person. Ask me instead." 5 stars. Love this. Such a good book. Such a good book for the summer. If you want something like really, that's something you'll devour, but that's not like super dark or like super like trauma filled or anything like that, this is the book. Such a cute, sweet, very relatable romance. Loved it. Alright, so this is every book that I've read this month, and I am so happy that I've gotten back in my reading like kick. I'm still feeling a dark romance kick, so I might, you know, have a couple more coming up for the next wrap up. We will see. And I'm also really excited to start like knocking off more series again. Like, I've had a lot of these series that I just went over sitting on my shelf for a while, so I'm excited. If you've read any of these books, let me know what your thoughts were on them. I'm definitely interested. And if you made it through this video, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.